they don't see small farmers in developing countries where today genetically modified organisms are being advocated to be introduced, like countries like Ethiopia. If you consider a small-scale farmer in Ethiopia, he have never been to school, he can't write, he can't read, he don't have the capacity to even use the fertilizer that is given to him in the way he is being told to apply. Like in the northern part of Ethiopia, it happened for 3 years that farmers have applied large amount of fertilizer and lost their crops because of osmotic principles, for those of you who understand the principles of osmosis in biology, because they applied so much and the plant has to dry and crop failed. Even if you give the technology to that farmer who have a quarter of hectare, very little land, he will not use the technology. He don't have the capacity. He don't have the understanding. He don't have the economy to afford to buy genetically modified seeds. It's a question of capacity as well. And Monsanto missed even its targets, its target groups, its target farmer. So it is a question of survival for those small farmers to feed their farmers in the future. We have to see from that perspective as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kaja Kryssan. I will thank you for a very interesting talk about this, very interesting. And I would say to everyone who is here and agree that this is dangerous with this GMO, couldn't we write to someone in Storting and say, please take the money out of this GMO, out of Monsanto? And then I would say that it has been a question here, how can we feed all the hungry millions on this earth? Well, in Norway we have lots of houses, villas, and lots of gardens around it. And what do you find in the garden? A lawn, a big lawn, or perhaps a little, but very much lawn, and then some roses or other flowers. When I was a child, there was also lots of kitchen gardens around every house. Where are all the kitchen gardens now? They're under the lawn. That's a very sad thing. It's a little late this spring. It's possible perhaps to start to sow tomorrow some carrots, but it is a little late. I have always started. But let us, all of us who have a big garden, let us use it. Let us put potatoes. You could put potatoes perhaps in the earth tomorrow. It wouldn't be perhaps too late. But at any rate, let us start to have a kitchen garden again. It's a very fun and, well.
Thank you. I have 3 square meters of garden and I grow herbs. Wonderful, yes. My name is Jens Petter Humleid. I'm working in a food company and we live from good products and good reputation. And listening to what's said about Monsanto here today, it's difficult to understand how they can survive. And But I have a few questions. I should be very brief. This is a year, is it? Or
very, very brief.
I don't know what that is. Brief in relative.
30 seconds.
I'm very brief. One of my questions was about corruption, and it was answered, so forget about that. The other was about friends and power. And I liked the comments from the Swedish filmmaker. He was asking why Norway put a lot of money into Monsanto when there are so many other companies to put money into. And I don't think he read Aftenposten or Dagens Næringsliv. I don't think he tried to discuss with powerful people. Then he would know that they like such companies. They like to provoke people who have a bit of goodwill or want to do something good. because you should not treat, or you should not do good, you should do business to business, and Monsanto is business to business, or I don't know what you call it, but at least they are pure business. And most of us, the powerful people in Norway, they are not here. Sitting here, I can see a lot of nice ladies, and behind me is a lot of young people, but where is most of the people with power? They are in another room. They are now maybe in the garden, but they didn't have time to come here. So that was the second question.
Okay.
What is the friends? And okay. So the last question was about powerful people's, I shouldn't say, I would like to know the American powerful people's attitude against GMO. For instance, Obama, he's a good man, and if he wanted to, he could stop GMO, I think. What about Al Gore? No, he says, I'm asking. So that's all.
Okay, thanks very much.
And week.
Before I ask the panel to give their final thoughts in response to the questions they've just heard on Cuba, I don't know if anyone wants to talk briefly about the example of Cuba, because that is an interesting example of agriculture, organic agriculture in particular. The comments about the difficulty of small farmers in Ethiopia actually using GM technology, the importance of small gardens, and the American people's attitude to GMOs. There's obviously lots of big and diverse issues there. I also wanted the panel just to think about one issue with a parting thought, which is what they think the Norwegian public could do in the next few months to put pressure on the Norwegian government to either disinvest or to influence Monsanto more to behave in a more ethical way, depending on what your view is. What you think the one thing that the Norwegian public should do on that, if you could all have a think of that. But can I just ask the audience, because this country has had the misfortune to host the Eurovision Song Contest, which is all about voting, can you raise your hands if you think that the Norwegian government should divest from Monsanto, or whether you think that it should use its ownership of shares in Monsanto to improve its behavior? Who thinks that the government should disinvest from Monsanto? And how many people think should use their shares to try and improve Monsanto from the inside, as it were? Anyone? No. One. Okay, a couple. A few people. Okay. So, panel, can I ask you to respond to give your final thoughts to any of those questions, and also this issue about what the strategy should be? I mean, now that you've seen at least what this cross section of the Norwegian public is, which is that the Norwegian government should immediately disinvest from Monsanto. What should we, the public in Norway, be doing to put pressure on the government to do that? Ignacio, do you want to go first? And just
yes.
Couple of minutes each.
Yes, less than two, I think. First of all, I'll be quick because I'm nobody to tell the Norwegian people what to do. I'm sorry, I feel, okay, I can talk. I feel there is a historical wisdom in this country that I've learned to love, that I do not understand, that I do not carry with me because of my history. And I feel that I should not tell you what to do, that you guys, I think, know better than I do. But I do want to come back to one of the questions that you were raising. I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name. You seem to be bringing up and resonating with, echoing the questions that Hans Petter was raising. Why do these countries not ban them? Why are these countries unable to regulate them? Why